welcome back to what feels like the longest break in hiatus of shows ever. Welcome to us with a side of hustle, a chance for me to sit down with some friends, colleagues, talk about small businesses, small projects, and things that are the people that I have in my life who are passionate about things in their life. Today, I'm joined by a new friend, Ashlyn. Pronounce your last name for me, because pronunciation is not my strong suit.
Yeah, I mean, we get it all, but
Sure.
Silhavy is what we go with. But we get the Silhavies, we get the actual real pronunciation.
Gotcha.
That I don't know. We get the grandpa pronunciation, but we get it all. But Silhavy is what we go with.
Silhavy. All right. So I have the same problem with Neville. They're like Neville. I'm like, really? And now I just say like Longbottom, and suddenly a light bulb goes off and they can say Neville with no problem.
Right.
So Ashlyn, you are a representative, or you're kind of a big deal in Kellsie's Hope Foundation. To me, you are a big deal because you are my direct contact as part of the foundation.
Absolutely.
A little bit about how I found you guys. I have decided to do RunDisney this year, and through a mutual friend reached out to me and said, "Are you interested in running with a charity?" And I was like, "Yes." Presented your name to me. We connected through there. So we'll do all the things, how I got created here in just a second, but give me like the cocktail line. What is Kellsie's Hope Foundation?
Kellsie's Hope Foundation, giving hope to kids with cancer. There it is.
Simple. It's that simple. It's just
it really is that simple. So we do anything that has to deal with childhood cancer. We try to get our hands in. Kellsie's Hope Foundation is 100% volunteer ran. We have zero paid employees. It's a 100% labor of love. So Kellsie Marchbanks started the Kellsie's Hope Foundation during her second round of cancer treatment from her hospital bed. The idea was born. And then, unfortunately, she lost her battle in 2011 from osteosarcoma, but her mom and dad, who are Gail and Dan Marchbanks, wanted to continue her legacy and her dream. And, this is kind of like a celebration for her life.
Sure.
And, they started the Kellsie's Hope Foundation, and we're a wish granting organization. And we often catch the kids that don't qualify for other things. So just for an example, like if a kid gets diagnosed with cancer at like 3 or at like a young age, and then they relapse and get diagnosed again when they're like 12 or 16 or whatever age, oftentimes they don't qualify for anything. And,
really?
A wish when you're 3 is a lot different than a wish when you're 18. Definitely. So we try to catch the kids that fall within those requirements of anything else. And so we do wish trips for them. If they are too ill and are unable to travel, then we, all of this is working with social workers from the hospital. And we get their wish list and try to get them whatever they want.
Whatever they want.
Yeah. So wish trips, gifts. We do a bunch of like holiday celebrations in the local children's hospitals. We do nursing scholarships. We do research. We cut a big check for research in November. So, I mean, anything that has to do with childhood cancer, we try to get our hands on.
So we'll kind of go back. We'll go back to that childhood cancer stuff and cancer research here in a second. But let's talk more about Kellsie herself. Like, I know you said there was in her second bout is when it sort of became a light bulb idea and got that put down on paper and became a thing. Give me the Reader's Digest version of Kellsie's story.
Sure. So Kellsie was, I didn't know her myself, but from what I'm getting from just her legacy and from her cousins and sister and parents and everybody that knew Kellsie, she was just the sun whenever she entered a room. She was always happy, helpful. She was such a positive, outgoing, beautiful person, so thoughtful. And she just wanted to help people. She loved to dance. She loved cheerleading. She loved Disney, of course.
Right.
And she was just one of the most selfless people that I have ever heard of. Like whenever you're in the hospital going through cancer treatments and you're thinking of others, I mean, that just says it all.
When you're down as low as you could possibly be, and your biggest concern is someone else, like that's a special person.
So whenever she was going through her treatments, she was gifted a trip.
Okay.
And she just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And she was so grateful for that. And she said, how can I help more kids get to experience this? And that was kind of the idea behind everything. And that's how Kelsey's Hope was born.
That's incredible. So now what is your involvement? How did you get involved with Kelsey's Hope?
So Kellsie she was in a long relationship, and she was promised at Cinderella's castle. She got engaged at Cinderella's castle, and they were, through her cancer journey, she continued to plan for the future, plan her wedding, her Disney wedding, and everything like that. And unfortunately, she passed away before that ever took place.
Mm-hmm.
So, through a series of events, she was engaged to Joey, and through a series of events in a few years, I met Joey, and we had a baby and got married and had another baby. And
wow,
outside looking in, it's got to be awkward. And Kelsey's mom and I have had a very long and precious journey with this relationship. All I knew was that I didn't want, me coming into the picture. I didn't want the relationship that she had with Joey, that Gail had with Joey, and that the Silhavys had with the Marchbanks family. I wanted to honor that. And it's something that's very, very special. And, that's their family. It is what it is. And so I either said, I can, Gail and I had a long conversation, and, I cannot imagine. I have so much respect for this woman.
Sure.
And I could not imagine what would happen if anything ever, what I would do if anything ever happened to my children.
Yeah.
And just the strength and the grace that Gail has is just, I am so just beyond blown away.
Yeah. For the record, I did not know that part of the story. That is
information to me. You're getting all of it.
The entire story. I love that. That's so cool.
What we decided is, I didn't want that relationship to go away. And what she was doing for kids with cancer, this started in 2011, and just what she was doing and the way that she was carrying her legacy just totally blew me away, and it just set my heart on fire. And so we had a discussion. I was like, well, I can either just show up and support your fundraisers, and I will, I'll do that, or we can lock arms and run with this. And I said, I think I've got a lot of really good connections that could be helpful. I've got a lot of really great ideas. My background is in marketing. It's up to you, but if this is the kind of involvement that you want me to be, I'd be happy to be a part of it. And that over the years, it just kind of snowballed and snowballed and snowballed into this beautiful relationship that we have together. And we just went boating together on we crashed their vacation, like we hang out. It's
your family.
We are absolutely family.
And that's the beauty. And that's the beauty of this kind of relationship as well. Like I'm a big component of like not blood. Just because you're not blood doesn't mean you're not family, right? And
absolutely.
And everyone, and I've said this before on other shows and episodes, like everyone says social media is bad and whatnot. And obviously you didn't meet her family through social media, but my aspect of this is I'm becoming part of the Kellsie Crew family, becoming part of that Kelsey's Hope Foundation larger orifice. That's not even the right word. That's not the right word. You know what I'm trying to say? Like
it's fine.
that bigger group. Just the fact that you grabbed hands, grabbed hearts, and moved in the right direction. Do you think that Kelsey's Hope got to where it is maybe because of you? Is that a okay?
Well, here I'm not
trying to make this about you. I'm not trying to make it about you.
Of course. No, I totally get it. Okay. So first of all, and Gail knows this. I think this is an interesting thing that you asked. So Gail knows this, and every time that I go to Disney, or I'm on vacation, or I'm walking down my sidewalk and just see something like, so our thing, and it's kind of like, I don't know, it's not like a secret thing, but like every time I see something that's like pink and yellow, like a flower or just something, I'll snap a picture and send it to her. And she normally responds with, "You have no idea how much I needed that today."
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, I'm not going to turn this into a God thing, but
No.
I just think that the situation, of course, it's unfortunate and heartbreaking and sad, about Kellsie, but I think, taking the situation for what it's worth,
Sure.
and just making the most out of it and making the best relationship that we can. And like I said, has been a beautiful thing. But so my funny story about how, it kind of exploded this way is because so Joe and Mel Silhavy are the normal, like they're the race coordinators, and I just kind of do what they tell me to.
Sure,
and so my first race, Joe said, "I bet you won't walk up to that guy and, ask him to say something about Kelsey's Hope." And I'm like, clearly you don't know me well enough. So I walked right up to him. And of course it was Rudy. You're new to RunDisney, but Rudy is like a RunDisney announcer, like legacy dude. And so he's just so awesome. I still talk to him, but I walked up to him and I was like, "Hey, will you read our Kelsey's Hope mission statement?" He was like, "Sure, pull it up." So I pulled it up on my phone and he read it. And then ever since then, there's been people that will be like, "Oh, you're that, Kelsey's Hope or whatever." I'm like, "Yeah, that's us." And I will say that I do pride myself on being like the biggest Kelsey's Hope cheer captain, because I mean, I'm always sporting the shirts. I have so much passion behind the mission and behind Gail and Kelsey's family and everybody that has made this thing what it is. Our runners, our volunteers. I mean, I am just so passionate about it that I hope that my passion radiates and kind of catches fire to other people. But
first and foremost, your personality alone, it's infectious. Your smile is fantastic. I was super excited to get you on early time, because again, when you have that energy and you have that passion, first of all, when you're just excited about for life in general, but then you have something specific to really guide you, as Kelsey Hope seems to be for you, like it just amplifies everything that you already are. So I commend you on that.
Thank you.
Where does the yellow and pink come from? What is that? What is your favorite colors?
Well, so pink is Kelsey's favorite color. And then the gold comes from, gold is the color of childhood cancer awareness. And then we were like, well, you can see this way better than gold. I mean, that's at least, like, I don't really know if that's the official story, but like, I'm pretty sure it started with gold.
Now.
It is now, because, we've done like local events and stuff like that. And all of the old shirts are gold. So I'm thinking there was like a gold to highlight our evolution there. Yeah. And so, I mean, if you've been to a RunDisney race and you have never seen this shirt, I don't know what you're doing, because they're everywhere. We've got like the t-shirt
on
signs.
The stick. Yeah, I've seen those.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, they're everywhere. So my favorite part is whenever I'm also a runner, but whenever I'm not running the actual race, I can see this coming from a mile away. And I don't have to put my glasses on to say, is that one of our races? So I don't know how this happened, but I'm so glad it did, because it's so convenient.
I've ordered a shirt. My shirt is in the mail. It's on its way. I was hoping it's going to get here for this, but the best I have is a Disney related yellow shirt. That's awesome too. And all of our runners do get one of their shirts. We do an appreciation luncheon at the events, and that's whenever you get your shirt, your medal, and the swag bag and all that good stuff. Good.
And we do it the first day. Like normally it's the day of the 5K, so you can wear it for your other races. But if something happens and like a runner wants to like train in their shirt, then we can always send it to them too.
Sure. That's awesome. Okay, so let's go back to the research and where the money, whether you donate directly to Kelsey Hope or donate to a runner, then that money goes to them. All the runners are campaigning. They're raising money for Kelsey's Hope. It's all nonprofit. All money goes directly to the research, correct?
Yes. And that weird face was just because I heard a clunk and then I didn't hear my son. So it wasn't like I was listening, but that's what the face was about. So anyway,
it's all good. No worries.
Okay. So the money is like I said, obviously 100% of net proceeds. Of course, we have to still buy the bibs from RunDisney. They don't give them to us for free. But
how dare they?
Thanks, Disney. But they do give us a small discount, so that's helpful.
Yeah.
But so we have certain campaigns that fund different like sections of our mission.
Sure.
So all of the RunDisney events, that money is allocated towards the wishes, the gifts, and the trips and all that stuff. And then we also have, so right now we have an amazing, one of my favorite campaigns that we do all year is called the States of Hope. And it is, Gail says that it's Gail's, it's her birthday, it's Kelsey's birthday gift, because she can't give, you know, any birthday gifts to Kellsie. So she does this as her gift. And so we have a blank map, and then of the United States, obviously. And we
hence the states.
The states. And so any donation that we get in, like that's $5 or more, you know, this is all about raising awareness for childhood cancer. And this money goes towards research. And so, you know, if we get a $5 donation from each state, the state turns pink. And then if we get $200, it turns gold. We have never turned the map gold.
Okay.
And this is our 10-year anniversary year. So that's like our, like, man, it would be cool if we could do that.
Gotcha.
So that all the information for that is on kelsieshope.com. And then it's all over our Facebook pages too, just Kelsey's Hope. Our crew stuff is always Kelsey's Crew. There's a Kelsey's Crew Facebook, Instagram. So they are a little bit separate, but we love, it's not like there's like a competition between like, you know, fundraisers or anything like that, but it's, you know, how flipping cool would it be if we could turn that map gold this year? So we also get donations from a bunch of different countries. So we always throw that up there too, but that's Gail's birthday gift to Kellsie, is to turn that map gold.
That's exciting. And that's a whole separate campaign. That's a campaign within itself.
Yep.
In addition to all the runners who are, so none of the running campaign goes to that.
Correct. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. That's Gail's birthday wish or birthday gift to Kellsie. Gotcha. And that goes towards research. However, you know, all the RunDisney stuff, you know, it's all going to the same place.
It all goes to the same place, obviously.
Hope, you know, so yeah.
Very, very good. I'm so glad we're chatting, because I'm learning so many things. As you mentioned before, well, two things I want to sort of talk about. I mentioned to you that my dad died of pancreatic cancer about 7 years ago, which is why this is so important to me. So when you talk about cancer research, is it cancer research and childhood awareness, or is it all just sort of lump into one
title? So it's childhood cancer research. Okay. So we do work with, which is really interesting. So Kelsey's oncologist that worked with Kellsie works in a local lab or school or whatever you want to call it here in St. Louis. We're based out of St. Louis. Yep. His lab is here. And so we do a a research check for him every November. Okay. And that funds his childhood cancer research. Okay. Yes. And so it goes towards his, I don't know what he does, but he does a lot of good stuff in every. So there's a video. Just if you're more interested about this whole research thing, there's a video that I'd be happy to like put the link or whatever to, where he talks about. So whenever he accepts the donation, he does a whole spiel about where exactly the money is going. Yes. So everything is totally 100% transparent. I'm just not a doctor, so I don't really know, but
and that's totally fine. And that's why, but you're the conduit, right? You're the connection between point A and point C. Right. So any link that you have mentioned so far, I'll definitely put that in the description down below. So it's called.com and all the Facebook pages, and that video we'll put that all together and make sure that's all down here. Again, with the show's being called A Side of Hustle, right? And so your real life is real estate agent, yes?
Oh, my real life is intense. Yeah. So I love the title.
We'll call it real life.
Yeah, like I love the title of this whole thing you got going on, because it's so relatable. I mean, it's such a good job. So my real life, I have a 5-year-old daughter who's going to be 6 next month, and a 1-year-old son. Even before COVID, I ran my real estate business from my house. I've got an awesome partner that she's also a parent to 2 boys. And the reason that this works out so well is because we have the same priorities and the same values. And so she knows that Kelsey's Hope is a big deal to me. But we both know that parenting and family always comes before
Sure.
real estate. So there has been a few times where we've had to turn down some clients because we're like, okay, this looks
You're
great,
like, yeah.
but we have these other things, you know, that are important too.
Right.
So, I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't want to like not promote my business because that's silly, but
no, that's why we're here. We're talking about
I mean, it's all
right?
about the hustle. It's all about the balance between like, okay, this is my day job. I'm also a mom. I'm also a wife, and then philanthropy. Like there's a whole, you know.
Before we hopped on, before we started recording, you mentioned that you wrote the book on side hustle, or like on hustling, right? You said
yes.
So,
oh yeah.
So how many other things? I mean, obviously, again, the real life of mom and real estate, but how many other things, even in addition to Kelsey's Hope, is occupying your time?
Oh God, what an embarrassing question. Okay, so
I apologize. This was,
oh my gosh,
I was
no,
going to apologize, but I'm not sorry. I want to know.
Oh my God, don't be sorry because this is so fun. Okay, so I like, if you can't tell, I'm all about social marketing. So of course I'm a part of
I've picked up on
social marketing companies, like direct, you know, whatever. I do like skincare, healthcare, all that good stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna name drop should I name drop the company?
No, that's fine.
Okay,
Don't
I'm not
worry
going to.
I mean, I know at least one of them, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
Okay. And then I'm also a bartender because it's my like that is like I know, right? Like it's crazy. So I you know, I'm home all day, every day with my kids in my house and in front of my computer, and there's cocoa melon sometimes going on in the background, and like my bar is my happy place. Like that's where I can just like entertain people, talk to people, meet new people. Like I've got to be in front of people.
How often are you there? Like that's
not very often, but it's kind of like you know, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So like whenever I go, I'm not going to work, I'm going to play. And I'm gonna go and I like just do my thing behind the bar and make new drinks and cocktails and like talk to people. I like to be in that role too. And so I've been doing that since 2011.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just love the service. I've always had a passion for the service industry. I think that people should, you know, people that work in the service industry should like their job because you are serving people. It's the service industry. And you know, like who doesn't want to go out and be like, man, that bartender was awesome. Like, you know,
I mean, I know that for sure. I mean, I've worked around Disney for the past 18 years or so, 18 of 21 years. And I get it. Like and there's and bringing that up, there's actually at least two more things I want to talk about. The Disney
not even on my hustles, man. I got
okay, let's go back to the hustle. Let's finish the hustle list. All right. So Kelsey's Hope, bartending, direct sales, entrepreneurship,
real estate, home life, entrepreneur, bar life. And then I also so my grandma got me involved in something in 2008 that I have never been able to let go. And honestly, I credit a lot to like who I am as a person. So I'm involved with a personal development company. And it's technically it's modeling, acting, and personal development, but I'm in there for the personal development because I don't care what you do out, like when you walk out the doors, it's what value I can provide. And it's a lot of like young kids. And so I would say the age range is like 6 to 30.
Oh, wow.
And so I go and I coach on personal development, interviewing skills, like when you go to interview for a job, like what else? Just, I mean, I don't know. Personal development kind of covers it all. So
it's broad enough, but also narrow enough that you're like, work on yourself.
Like you get it. Like, you know,
Totally,
so I do that too. And that's again, like that's not like a every weekend kind of thing. That's like maybe twice a month.
Yeah.
But it's on the list.
Amazing. A through line connection for all the interviews I've done is a huge Disney presence in everyone's life, whether I worked with them in the theme parks or the cruise line. Obviously, this connection started through RunDisney. So what is Kelsey's Hope connection with RunDisney? How did that relationship?
Yeah. So, well, at first, like I said, so Kellsie had this intense love of Disney. The Silhavys have always had this intense love of Disney. And
there's one more person in that triangle, right? You're saying the Silhavys, who is your husband and his family. Yes.
Okay, so Silhavys, I'm talking about Joe and Mel Silhavy, who are my husband's parents. So they would have been Kelsey's in-laws. So that's why they have always been involved.
So there's still So there's still a triangle though. There's the Silhavys, there's Kelsey's family, and then there's you.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your connection with Disney?
Oh boy, I was okay. So are we talking Run Disney or just Disney?
You personally at the moment, and then we'll get into the Run Disney connection with Kelsey's Hope.
So I was raised as like just a normal kid who doesn't go to Disney World every month. I had never been to Disney before I met my husband.
Okay.
And I was one of those people that like went into my husband's like parents' house for the first time. I'm like, oh God, there's Disney crap everywhere. Like I was that person. I was like, oh my God, they're crazy. Like they're Disney people. And I was never, ever a Disney person. My family has never been Disney people. I have never been to Disney before I met my husband. And then they took me for my first, it was first I went to Disneyland before I went to Disney World because there was a race there.
Sure.
And which I missed greatly, but not going to go there. So they took me to Disneyland. And the very first thing we ever did was there was the Mickey show with the magic paintbrush. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Mickey, the magical map, right?
Yes, the Mickey's magical map. And I sat there as a 22-year-old woman sobbing whenever Baloo came out.
I was 32, so it's fine. Yeah, no worries.
Sobbing. I mean, like uncontrollable sobbing whenever I saw Baloo for the first time. And ever since then, I'm like, I get it. Like, I totally get it. And so, like, I was married into the Disney family and totally embraced it. And we have, I mean, my daughter she's going to be 6. And there was a year where we were going to Disney every single month. And whether it was for a race or for pleasure, I mean, we went every month. Obviously, it's been a while.
Sure.
But that's how my daughter was raised. She got her first haircut in Disney. My 1-year-old son has a man bun because my husband refuses to get his haircut anywhere but Disney
until the barbershop opens.
Little hat. Yep. Yes. And so now, like, I am all in. I totally get it. I still cry at the fireworks. I have been, before I met my husband, I have never seen a Marvel, Star Wars, nothing. I mean, nothing. Like I've seen, of course, the classic Disney movies.
Sure. But not in the way that like a Disney fanatic views them.
No. And so,
now you've come into this families, plural. Was the hope to always, I guess maybe the question is, how hard is it to become a charity represented at a Run Disney event?
I have no idea. So this started out with in 2012, Joe and Mel and a few of Kelsey's family and friends just went down to run. And that's when Kelsey's crew was born. And then since then, being there for the first time and seeing what it's all about, Joe and Mel and whoever, like, I don't know that, like the details of that story, but they were like, all right, there's charities here. How do we make this a thing? And so that was the first Kelsey's Hope event. There's a picture of it on our website. It's so cute.
Awesome.
And that's whenever Kelsey's crew was born, and the rest is history. And we have not missed. I mean, we're the only charities that's at every single Run Disney race.
Really?
They were at Disneyland. We were the only ones that were like all races in Disneyland, all races in Disney World. I mean, for the Star Wars races, I would run the one in I think Florida was first, so I'd run the one in Florida, fly directly to California, and then do that race. Wow. So like, yeah. So I honestly have no idea, like the process. Joe and Mel,
that's a whole other interview for a different time.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and they're so fun. You would love them too.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's super, super cool. You were talking about seeing the yellow and pink and texting people. I have a couple friends that butterflies mean a lot to them, so I always send that kind of stuff. The not to pull on heartstrings, but I'm gonna, because I can.
Okay, go ahead.
The day that my dad awkwardly had this weird thing about numbers. So he passed at 7:14 on 7/14/14, and there was a double rainbow over the Magic Kingdom within that 5-minute period. So Rainbow Savo has been making all those connections, whether it be just a Disney fan or making it the cancer connection or that tangible thing that you're like, oh, it's pink, it's yellow. Like coming again, being part of this now. I like to think anyway that I'm coming into this new family, coming into this
Of course
new
you are.
organization.
It's too late. You already are.
I'm very excited about the future. Now, as I mentioned before, this is my first Disney race experience. I've done a lot of firsts at Disney, and at 40, I'm checking off the one that I never thought I was going to check off.
Love it.
We're in a separate video. You and I are going to kind of go into big details about first time and race, etc. Sure. So that's a whole other thing. If someone is thinking, if they're like, oh, toying with the idea of getting into RunDisney or racing or running, and maybe perhaps running with Kelsey's crew, what advice would you have for the new runner, and B, what's the best way to get involved with Kelsey's Hope?
Okay, great. So for the new runner, I would say plug into people that are experienced, because just like any time you go to Disney, there's always tips and tricks and all of the stuff that you don't know if you're new.
Sure.
So plug into a community of people that have been there, done that, know what they're doing. That would be my number one. And of course, like, everybody has different experiences and different ideas and stuff, but just just following the people on social media and getting involved in some groups and stuff like that can be huge for you. And then getting involved with a charity if you want to run. I would say, and I say this all the time, just because I am a race coordinator for Kelsey's Hope, I don't care what charity you're running for. If you're running for a cause, and if you're running for something bigger than yourself, we're all on the same team here. It's everybody has a cause that's special to them, and something that they can really be passionate about. And so just make sure that it's something that sets your heart on fire. Like if it's something that's going to push you, past those hard miles and past those hard hills and everything like that, and just pull you to that finish line, and knowing that, you're not just doing it for a medal, but that the Kelsey's Hope medal that you get hung around your neck, that it stands for so much. It stands for that you personally gave a trip or like a gift to a kid that is struggling, and you're making them smile, and you're just doing something that is so meaningful. It's not just like reaching your fundraising goal so you can run. Right. It's that you're doing this for a little kid. Like, that's so cool. And and if it's not Kelsey's Hope, whatever it is, if it's animals that you're passionate about, if it's a different illness that you're passionate about, just make sure it's something that you're really, really passionate about, because oftentimes your teammates, or you're going to have something in common with your teammates, whether it's an experience that you've had, or whatever. You're going to find yourself a whole lot of friends and a brand new family that is just going to just love on you, and they care. Charity runners in general are an amazing community, but charity runners, they just care.
That's awesome.
You can't get anything better than that.
Very, very cool, Ashlyn. Thank you so much. Two more things. I ask everybody, what does hustle mean to you?
Boy, that's a good one. Sorry, I'm plugging my computer in.
No worries.
Hustle is walking in from a closing, slamming your computer down on the table without plugging it in or seeing how much battery you have, and hoping for the best. So what does hustle mean to me? Hustle means just taking everything that you can, everything in your body, every ounce of energy, and just putting it to what's going to make you happy. It doesn't have to be like, like for example, bartending makes me happy. Do I have time for it? Hell no. But it makes me happy.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of, and it feels like it's kind of that thing that's kind of just for you, right? Where mom, all the things, like you take those hours just for you, even though technically it's for other people, it's still kind of
yeah. And I'm glad that you didn't ask me what's your definition of hustle, because definition isn't the same across the board.
Exactly, which is why I don't ask that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, what does hustle mean to me is, what do I have to do to feel fulfilled? what do I have to do to reach my goals? And, you know, like I said, it's different for everybody, but that's what it means to me. And that's why there's so much going on.
I love it. I love it.
It's all good stuff.
So as we wrap this up, as we're coming to kind of the end here, anything we didn't discuss, anything you definitely want to share about either Kelsey's hope or maybe the story, anything I didn't ask, what haven't I asked that you want everyone to know about?
Something that I just want to say is that we have seen absolutely exponential growth in, you know, just raising awareness for childhood cancer, people spreading the word about our mission, people fundraising. I mean, we have just seen exponential growth in the past just few weeks. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that has participated in that. You included, everybody that's tagging us, that's sharing things, that's fundraising, that's spreading the word. It's all a part of the mission. And, you know, we don't take that lightly, because we know that behind all the donations and all behind, you know, every Facebook post, there's somebody like yourself that's taking time out of their day to make a difference. And that is such a big deal. And, you know, it does not go unnoticed. And we are just so thankful. I mean, you guys could be doing anything in the whole world that you wanted to be doing right now. And you're promoting this thing that we have going on. And we're just, you know, it was, like I said, it's a labor of love that was started by, you know, Kellsie and just everybody working together to carry that through and just bring more happiness to more kids and everything. Just, we're just so thankful. And, you know, for everything. So, like I said, I could talk forever, but I just wanted to be sure. I just wanted to be sure to get that in there. Like we're just so thankful, and we see it all. Right. I try to respond every time, but sometimes it slips under the radar. But anyway,
and that's what it's all about. It's and I think a lot of people, I'll even up myself included, you enter anything with trepidation. You're like, oh, I mean, it sounds great, sure, and then you meet the people behind the foundation, behind the campaign, and they hear the story, and then the walls come down and everything's a little more comfortable. And if it wasn't you as the face for most of us, I guess in the Kelsey's Crew community, I don't think it would be what it is, because immediately you fall in love with you and you go, well, that's someone I want to stand behind or stand next to or in front of and protect. God forbid something happens. Like, and so with that being said, and you wouldn't, the little bit I know about you is I trust you, right? So whatever decision you're making, you've made before. So I'm right there with you for whatever is next. So thank you for including me in the family. Very excited to be part of whatever's next with Kelsey's Hope. And as I said to you before, I'm happy to help out in any way I possibly can with posts to social media or getting the word out. But I want to thank you for your time, for joining me on my little talk show.
Absolutely, anytime.
And we'll continue. This part 2 will come soon. Will be a little more RunDisney focused.
RunDisney, really,
very specific details of what to expect. So if you're not joining us for this RunDisney, but maybe RunDisney in the future, take a look at that video. Ashlyn, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. As always, we greatly appreciate your time, your attention. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube things. Everything we talked about will be in the description below as far as links to videos and websites and such. So again, once again, thank you. It's always a good day to have a good day, and we'll see you next time.